And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate plan, tax plan, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, and we want to engage in an effort to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. ConsumerQB.com is our website as well, ConsumerQB.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida that we've assembled, we've vetted, and we bring on the air to help you win. More about your life, things happening on your day-to-day, things happening around your real estate, your mortgage, your helping you avoid a lot of these commission-based stories and marketing niches that you see out there. All right, it's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, my man Jason Avery Construction. Welcome in.
Hey, Brandon. Nice to see you again.
Likewise. Yes, sir.
Now, it's been a couple months off the radio. I'm glad to finally make my way back into the studio.
You finally made time for us.
We've been running around like crazy. The renovations have not stopped rolling. Everybody is out there trying to do improvements. There's a lot going on in the industry. There's a lot of, unrealistic expectations out there right now. I'm going to talk about today, too, and try and point out to our listeners exactly what is real and what to expect on what can and can't be done with a home, what can and can't be done with or without a permit. And great to be here.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for coming in. All right. Also back in studio, Ruth Watkins in the house as well. GSF Mortgage and Team Go. Welcome in.
Thank you. I am very happy to be here in the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping consumers win.
That's right. We're going to talk about a top 10 list that you brought today as well. Not to do. The top 10 not to do when applying for a mortgage.
That's right.
Good stuff. All right, making his debut to the show as well, Zach Sanders. He's the director of social media for Mossy Oak Fence. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, Brandon. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Yes, sir. You going to give us some tips on social media today?
Yes, I'm going to talk about how important it is for social media and businesses.
Awesome. That sounds good. Yeah, it's very important. It's a big part of business. It's a big part of life nowadays. And, there's such a subculture of people that are online. And, everyone from Grant Cardone, who's been on our show, to Brad Lee and, these different influencers online now. They've got some really good content, video content, if you're, different categories. So that's great. I'm interested to hear what you have to say there, Zach. And I'm Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host, Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. And we've been doing a series the last few days over the top 10 rags to riches success stories of all time. And coming in at number 7 on our list today is Oprah Winfrey. She was born to a housemaid and a coal miner. Oprah definitely did not grow up in the lap of luxury, living the life of poverty. She used to have to wear dresses made out of potato sacks and was molested by relatives. She entered the world after media after getting a job of a news reader in a local black radio station. After she got her first talk show in Chicago, there was no looking back for this TV personality. So there's number 7 on the list, and we've had some really good ones over the last few days here. We had coming in at number 1 was Henry Ford. Number 2 was Walt Disney. Number 3 was Ralph Lauren. 4, Steve Jobs. And number 5, Richard Branson. And yesterday's show, we talked about John Paul DeJoria as well. So stay with us here. When we come back, we're going to do next week, we're going to have our success stories continued on. We got 10 more. We got 3 more to do in this list. So let's give a shout out to Mary Maids. Relax, it's done. Our official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Let Mary Maids take care of your winter cleaning. We know clean. Leave the details to us. Bonded and insured, customized cleaning, and additional services available. They are the recipients of the Women's Choice Award, America's most recommended cleaning services. Mary Maids, the official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Relax, it's done. Now, when you reach out to Mary Mary Maids, make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you for special incentives and discounts. All right, let's jump right into it. Let me plug this beach property that we've got here, 1024 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater Beach. This property is just reduced, $739,000. A great opportunity to purchase just minutes from Tampa Bay over at 1024 Mandalay Avenue in Clearwater, over 1,800 square feet, split floor plan, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful property on the beach. All right, let's jump right into it. Jason Avery in the house. He's also an author, published author. Constructing Success is his book, and owner of Avery Construction. So what are you seeing out there?
Well, we're seeing, again, lots of people approaching us with renovations, and especially renovations on homes that have just been purchased. What I'm finding a lot of is that people are buying homes sight unseen, and these aren't the typical investors that we were doing a lot of work with after the bubble and the burst, but these are your typical, homeowners, your typical consumers who have now tried to jump into this space. Maybe they listened to a program or bought somebody's package off the TV, or and they're inspired and they think they're going to go out and find their fortunes. And unfortunately, they buy up these homes that are super cheap, and they feel like they've gotten such a great steal on them. But the expectation of what they can put into the renovation to get that home back to a livable status is really, really unreasonable. And often what I'm seeing is that these were homes that somebody purchased and then started to renovate, and either they ran out of money, or they were doing things improperly and they got red tagged, or something got in their way, and so now they're just trying to dump it off and cut their losses, and somebody else is now buying into the problems.
Right. We
had just recently here a gentleman who's a quasi-investor. He's bought up 5 properties in the Tampa Bay area, a lot in South Tampa. We got a lot of older homes in South Tampa. One of them he was going to fix and flip. The other he was going to live in personally. But we get into the fix and flip situation, and you've got a front porch that was already ripped off of the home, but after it had been somewhat enclosed. So now there's exposed interior electric hanging out on the outside of the building. There's roof rafters that were ripped open and now never closed up, and it's been raining inside for months and rotting the remainder of the wood and destroying the insulation and creating mold issues. There's major trenches in the yard where somebody was preparing for footing for a new addition, and there's piles of concrete blocks and piles of trusses laying around in the yard that have since rotted and deteriorated because of the weathering. Wow. And all this again was in progress when somebody let it go, and then now the person coming in buying the situation thinks they can pick up the ball and run with it, thinking maybe it's going to cost less to get the improvement done because half of it's already there, but everything that's there is just not to code and not by the book. And so we're finding that a lot of these renovations we're pricing out for people, they're surmounting to costs that are more than double what they actually paid for the house and property to begin with, and well exceeding what the comps would be for the the relative homes there in the neighborhood. Yeah, that's a challenge. So we've seen it. One particular investor with 2 different homes, and we've done other renovations for this gentleman, but 2 other homes that he recently purchased that are just very, very poor purchases, and this was stemmed from him making purchases, online or sight unseen, or again, more specifically, without a good realtor standing behind him, to protect him from these, or without the prior advice of a contractor before making the purchase. That's right. Yeah, you want to walk that property with your contractor. Yep. I just came from one as I was rushing to the studio today. We spent hours pricing out a St. Pete home, an older home built in 1925. Yep. And they're going to take this home and convert it into a halfway house. And the home's pretty much been gutted. It's been replumbed. It's had new wiring put in for electric. And seems like, wow, that's a couple steps ahead. but none of this work was done with a permit. None of this work was done, by a qualified contractor. So half of what's there is going to have to be redone before we can even start over. And already in a 1925 home, you've got floors that aren't level. You've got foundation issues. We had our termite inspector meet us out there today and show us that there is actually live drywood termites in the home. Ooh. So, everything has to be tinted before it starts. There's additions that have been put onto the building that, are in no way qualified, and essentially have to just be completely torn down.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like a tear down.
Yeah.
Trying to convince the people who are buying this that the structure that's there is completely useless or that there's no value in keeping it is a very difficult conversation to have.
Yeah.
I had one other example just recently was a condo, more of a townhome, a 2-story unit strapped to other buildings down on the beaches.
Yep.
And a gentleman bought it, went ahead and tore out the bathrooms and the kitchen and some other areas of drywall where he wanted to make alterations, and then went to go pull a permit thinking he's going to just pull a homeowner's permit.
Yeah.
Because this is a townhome and it's attached to other units, that's not a residential situation. That's actually a commercial permit. It is a commercial building with additional fire codes that apply. And so these fire codes, force you to use a general contractor now. You can't do this on your own as a homeowner. Oh, wow. And additionally, he completely overlooked the fact that we have FEMA involved. Oh. And since this is a waterfront property and it's underneath the floodplain, we now have a 50% cap on the value of the improvements we can do. So all things said and done, he can't even put enough money into the home to improve up to the point of what he's torn out.
Oh, wow.
Just amazing the situations and the unreasonable expectations we're running into right now.
Yeah, you lose money by not understanding where you're looking at, the processes involved, the municipalities involved, you got to look at that. You got to have your contractor walk these properties with you and do some research. Have a realtor do the research for you so that way you know what you're getting into. So that's Jason Avery here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Avery Construction. Coming up, we got Ruth Watkins here, Team Go Mortgage, and Zach Sanders later in the show as well. So stay with us here. When we come back, our feel-good story of the week, 12-year-old nicknamed Trash Girl by bullies refuses to stop collecting litter in our feel-good story of the week. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
House.
listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. We're looking for inventory right now. The inventory is low, so we would love to offer you a free comparable market analysis. If you want to know the value of your home, just reach out to our hotline. Text the word value to 813-670-7372. Text the value to our hotline at 813-670-7372, and we'll take care of you with a comparable market analysis. Basically the same thing that you pay $500 for an appraisal. We're going to give it to you for free. Compliments of Platinum MVP Realty, PlatinumMVPRealty.com. And I got a hot listing here in Tampa, 15648 North Himes Avenue. This is in Carrollwood. It's a Carrollwood, beautiful property here, just listed. Gorgeous 5 bedrooms, 4 bathroom pool home on a cul-de-sac in the heart of Carrollwood. $485,000, over 4,300 square feet, and it's got beautiful Italian marble floors, and you will be impressed by this beautiful home. 15648 North Himes Avenue, PlatinumMVPRealty.com. Another beautiful property here in Tampa Bay. All right, so let's talk with Ruth Watkins here, TeamGoLoans.com and GSF Mortgage. So we got the top 10 things not to do when applying for a mortgage.
That's right, Brandon. I figured I would come over here and I would let our listeners and our viewers on Weeby TV know, okay, it might seem like common sense, and it is in the most part, but when you're buying a home, I have seen so many things that get in the way and will stop the process like right now. So I'm going to bring the top 10 list to help people think about this in their journey. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1, save your mattress for sleeping, not your money.
So
Okay.
no mattress money.
No.
Okay.
Okay, it's got to be seasoned. The law says, we have anti-money laundering, so we got to know where it's coming from.
Sourcing the money, especially with the Patriot Act and all that.
Exactly. Okay. Do not, no matter how excited you are, buy new furniture or appliances.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Okay? We find out on a credit refresh.
What about a new
And
car?
we'll learn. Yeah, you do that, and you might as well park it somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
All right? All right. This is also, you wouldn't believe.
Number 3.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how people think that, oh, I'm approved, it's over. Do not quit your job, okay? Or change employers, all right? Don't do that.
Going to mess up your history,
Yes.
your employment history.
That's right. We need stable income. So if you change, it's no longer stable, that's going to kill you right there.
Right.
All right, so don't be nice and co-sign for anybody, for nothing.
But Johnny needs a car.
No.
You got to sign for him.
No. You want your house, don't do it. All right.
Number
When
5.
it comes to your bank statements, all right, do not make large deposits.
Okay.
Do not move your money around. Do not close accounts. Keep it stable.
Stable is the key word here.
That's right. Okay.
Number 6.
Do not let anyone else pull your credit. Don't apply for a credit card. Don't, for that new furniture that you're planning on. Just stay stable. Again,
That's a
that's
big
the
one.
key. That is the key.
Number 7.
Don't spend money on your credit card. Don't, and don't increase your debt in any way, shape, or form.
Number 8.
Don't forget to disclose your debts. It's funny, I go down a line with the credit report. Is this your debt? Go all the way down. Yep, that's all it. But they did forget to disclose that they did have a car they just bought. Well, I didn't think you needed to know that. Well, definitely needed to know that, and we will find out about it. Do not make late payments. Late payments in the last 12 months could kill your deal, so make sure you pay all of your debts on time.
And number 9, don't spend money on set aside for closing. Did
That's
you see
right.
that one?
Yes.
Don't spend money set aside for closing.
Yes.
Because you need to have that money to bring the closing.
That's right. And you know what? I'm missing that card, so I'm bad.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I
And
got the complete list here. So.
The final. Don't do anything without consulting your lender. Mm-hmm. That will keep you right out of trouble.
Right.
Ask. then do
Yep.
it. Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't do it and then ask for forgiveness. Make sure that you get permission first.
Yeah.
All right? And that will save your loan process and get you where you want to go.
TeamGoLoans.com. We're talking with Ruth Watkins here. She's a local mortgage expert here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So when we talk about, supporting the local economy, that's one of the big things that I like to harp
Yes.
on. Don't just walk into the big banks on the corner. Those are the guys that took the bailout money, gave their CEOs the golden parachutes on their way out. So work with a local lender that's going to be able to develop a relationship with you. They've got a lot of niche programs as well that
Yeah.
the big guys don't have.
Yeah.
So I think that's a key point.
Yeah. Also, I think that the way that banks are structured is they have individuals they hire for specific jobs.
Right.
You don't walk in and have that professional, again, that knows it from soup to nuts, that's guiding you the entire way. So if you were going to go have your tax returns done, you wouldn't expect to start off with one person and end up with somebody else. You expect the expert to guide and steer the whole process so that you come out successful. Not knocking a bank, just in general, that's just the way it is. It's the truth of the matter.
Right.
So when you find somebody who just does mortgages,
That's right.
The ins and outs, the guidelines, you could not qualify for 5 different products, but bam, here's another one. It's
Yep.
all about creativity. It's about thinking outside of the box. And I can't tell you, I spend my life thinking outside of the box. It's just kind of
Yeah.
my forte. I love to zero in on that loan that somebody has a challenge. As a regional manager, I manage, my entire team and to get an opportunity to look at a loan and say, hey, do this, bam, you're on your way.
Yeah.
I love that. That's my thing. And so, anybody I can help get across that finish line it just gives me another feather in my cap, makes me
Now
feel
what's
good.
the process look like, Ruth? If you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Ruth Watkins. She's a local mortgage expert here, expert contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show, TeamGoLoans.com. What's the process look like? People can come to your office, or would you go to their office or their home?
Yeah, actually, we all work remotely over the state. We also handle a few other states also, and we make it a very smooth process. So whether it's by loan or by phone or online, most of the applications are on the phone because you connect with them that way.
Yep.
You understand. If someone wants to start an application online, that's perfectly fine. It's very easy to jump right into it, ask the key questions to find out what their goals are, and then start charting the course for it. Once that happens, we send out an e-consent and then a list of documents that they are now needed to supply.
Right.
They fax them to us, upload them to us. I have 4 different ways they can get docs to us, and we can even pick them up. So once we get those documents, we send the file in to underwriting. When it comes out of underwriting and you're approved and you're shopping for a home loan, we'll even reimburse your appraisal fee for you.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a nice bonus we like to give our buyers because we want them to be prepared when they go in to make the offer that they're as good as a cash buyer.
Now,
So-
you guys also do FHA 203K loans.
That's
That might be
right.
some crossover with Jason
Yeah.
here. So the remodeling side.
Yeah, I do believe that he is on our list.
Nice. Okay.
So what happens with that is we get a buyer who gets a house, and then we shoot out, bid opportunities to Jason and various contractors, and they will then come give a bid to the buyer, and they make that a relationship between each other.
Right.
And then we go forward, and we could go to 110% of that property's value. So, there is that cushion. So you can have that kitchen in there. You can have those extras, because you do have that extra 10%.
Now, Jason, on to you on this 203K loans, the renovation loans. Got about a minute left here. What are some of the things that you're seeing that consumers need to know about those products?
Well, again, on the streamlined version of the loan, and you can typically max out your improvements around 31.1 on what they otherwise call a $35,000 loan,
Very
because
true.
you do
Cost.
have to keep a retainage for the unforeseen in there, and because obviously in construction things pop up that you weren't expecting, and
Right.
if they have have no other money on the side to pay for it, that has to be budgeted in. We do see that people often, try to maximize that budget and are already looking for ways to scheme into using the contingency money. So as the contractor, we have to just make sure we manage the client, accordingly, so they don't, bite off more than they can chew. But with those programs, picking the contractor is important. They have to have, a reasonable cash flow. Right. They have to be able to manage that job because they're only going to get 55% of the funds in the beginning, and the other 45% will be retained until the job's 100% complete. And 45% is typically going to exceed any contractor's, contribution to overhead and profit. So they've got to be able to bankroll it for just a little while until the job gets to completion and they can be refunded in those monies.
That's important.
So choosing the contractor, be wise, and make sure that they're financially stable before you sign on the dotted line.
All right. So stay with us here. A wealth of knowledge here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Jason Avery, Avery Construction, Ruth Watkins, TeamGoLoans.com. Coming up, Zach Sanders here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll see you on the other side of this short break.
Hey, everybody. I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes, I'm your host, Consumer Quarterback Show owner, Platinum MVP Realty. Giving a shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill. Our official restaurant partner is Brio Tuscan Grill, 2223 North West Shore Boulevard in Tampa at the International Plaza. Now, our partners at Brio Tuscan Grill International Mall have something new to offer fans of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, if you mention the Consumer Quarterback Show during your visit, you will get one of Brio's signature appetizers free, just for following the show. So go into Brio, let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Not only are they going to hook you up with that free water with lemon, they're going to take care of you with all these awesome appetizers: spicy shrimp and eggplant, beef carpaccio, roasted garlic, spinach, and artichoke dip. Lots of great opportunities here. Pizza, you got the little pizzas as well. and great bruschettas as well that people love. So let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you over at Brio Tuscan Grill International Plaza. And we're back here in studio. We're going to help you win in any marketplace. Jason Avery's in the house, owner of Avery Construction. Ruth Watkins, teamgoloans.com, FHA 203K loans, renovation loans, conventional, all types of products.
All of it.
And coming up, we've got Zach Sanders as well. He's the director of social media at Mossy Oak. So I wanted to go back to Ruth here. So Ruth, with the market, the way the market is right now, there's a lack of inventory. Yesterday's show, we talked about a lack of inventory.
Yes.
We talked about Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, the appreciation year after year. It's some of the highest price increases that we've seen in many years. Now, I think there's going to be an emphasis going forward on new construction homes.
Yep.
So talk to us about those new construction opportunities.
Well, as it pertains to the new construction, again, it all goes in hand with the economy. So, land, what it is, there's only so much, right? But as we're building out developments and increasing our subdivisions and everything, buyers get opportunities through being able to pick everything from the ground up, or maybe floor plans, specific models, whatever fits for them. The mortgage is quite the same. So whether you do an end loan with it being completed from a contractor or a builder that completes the home and then you close, or you do a construction perm loan, in which case that you get the financing first, you close, you're done, you don't make your payments while the build is going on, so you don't have two house payments. You're living in your rental or wherever you are. When the home is CO'd at that point, then you're able, to move into the property and your finances, completed. It was already closed first, but it's CO'd and done at that point.
Certificate of occupancy.
Certificate of occupancy. That's right.
Yeah.
That's the key. Then the appraiser goes out, signs off, and, they get to move into their brand new home.
Yeah.
Building homes is, to me, is really, and I think I said it a little bit earlier, is a true indication of the strength of our economy, because we wouldn't be building anything.
Right.
You notice that's the first thing that stopped. That's the first thing that collapsed. So that is a good indicator. So as people are moving on, and we either have a real estate shortage of people wanting to move, but it does spur, people's idea of shopping or thinking about upgrading, which goes hand in hand with ultimately maybe increasing in the inventory. So supply and demand is always something that we deal with. When the demand is higher, it's a little tougher, because they go very quick. So you've got to act. You have to be ready. You have to be approved. You have to be ready to go and pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And then just zero in on what you want.
That's right.
What do you want?
So many times people call on real estate signs that I have out there. Got about 30 listings right now, and they call and I'll ask them, have you started the process? Oh no, we're just looking. It just seems like there's such a bar.
We're shoppers, but you're not even shoppers, really. So
you don't know what you can buy. You have no idea.
If you're doing a Sunday drive, that's one thing. But if you're serious, you definitely line up your ducks. You know?
That's
Put them in a row.
That's right.
Because you need them.
Yeah, that's where you need them. You need them all lined up. Otherwise, you're wasting a lot of time. Especially calling on signs. That's one thing too. People, they just think, oh, well, I'm just going to call on this sign, call on that sign. What a waste of time. The property's probably under contract.
Yeah, that's
and then by the time you play voicemail phone tag with the agent that doesn't answer their phone,
you need a partner. Okay.
Yep.
People try to play a game that they don't have experience in.
Right.
And so the thing is your agent, he's a prosperous partner for you, because he knows what you want. Your lender, prosperous partnership for you. So together, I like to think of it as it's a threesome. It's a triangle. It is. I can't put it any other way. But when you work with a team like that, the homes are checking out. Your agent knows exactly your wants and desires, where it fits you, where it doesn't, what can be modified, how you can get them in, and then piggybacks right off of your funds that you're going to be using to close on the home loan. I mean, it's just that's the way to do it if you want to conquer it, and conquer it well and quickly. And just like James said, you don't just sight unseen or try to just jump into a well that is not your expertise.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you add another element in there, the title company, Total Title Solutions. We do a lot of work with them, making sure the title's correct, there's no encroachments on the lot. There's a lot of things that go into a real estate transaction. If you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Ruth Watkins, teamgoloans.com. She's a local expert here, mortgage expert, and contributor on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Let's bring Zach Sanders into the conversation now. Zach is the Director of Social Media Marketing with Mossy Oak Fence. So welcome in.
Hey, thank you, Brandon.
Yes, sir.
I can't stress enough how important it is for a business to have a great social media. You know, one of the first things that a person does when looking for a business, for example, a fence company, is they'll go online to Google, and they'll type in a fence company, and they'll look at their reviews. And if the reviews aren't good, they're not going to go with that company.
Right.
You know, you want to make sure that your company has great reviews. Not only that, you want to make sure they have great pictures too. You know, like a Facebook page. You want to make sure that there's good pictures of your business and what you're, producing. And for example, our Instagram, we have pictures of all our fences and everything like that, so a customer can go on there and look and see what we do, and see the quality of our fences.
That's important. You know, the social media age now, it's such a, a growing area. You look at, experts like Gary Vaynerchuk, who came about, 10 years ago, roughly. And, he's telling these big companies, hey, social media is real. It's going to last. And then you think about the resistance to change. There's companies like Blockbuster who said, "Oh no, people." They did their own study. They said, "Well, no. What we found with our study is that people like to come in. They like to look at the movies and then to buy the popcorn on their way out, and they love that spontaneity of meeting a neighbor, in line to check out." And he goes, "No, well, what I really like is to be able to pull up Netflix at home with my hand down my pants and chilling, watching it, chilling." Right. So you look at the social media and how lot now. Where's Blockbuster? They're gone, right? And Netflix is like this big giant now. So you look at the trends and the changes that industries are. So if there's anybody out there that's still denying the social media, you're turning into a dinosaur quickly.
Right. And no one's going through a phone book anymore and trying to find what business. They're going online because it's much easier, and you can find all the stuff you need on there, and you can actually see how good the business is from the reviews and the pictures and what they're posting and what they're giving out.
Yeah, absolutely, you can. And you think about especially nowadays with the ability to run specials. For example, with the show, what we've done in the past is we offered an opportunity to co-host the show for a day. That was pretty cool. They got a lot of likes, got a lot of shares. Business owners, somebody that says, "Yeah, I'd love to go on the radio," so we'll bring them on the show, let them co-host for the day. So you get 1 point for a share, or actually a share gets you 2 points, a like gets you 1 point, and you're entered into a random drawing, and that's going to be something different and unique that you can do on your social media pages.
Right. I was doing a post install call. That's something we do after a customer's fence gets installed. We call them and ask to see how the installation went. And he said it went great, but he said the reason we chose, our company was because of our reviews on Google and the pictures we were posting on Facebook of our fences.
Yeah, it's important, especially when you have a product that's demonstrable, like a fence. So, the social media side. Yeah. So with the social media side, let's talk about different strategies. What kind of strategies do you see going forward that are going to work for companies? Like, is for instance, contest, doing contests, doing giveaways, trade shows, getting involved with trade shows. Have you seen any of those types of strategies?
Oh, for sure. To get more followers and stuff, I see, businesses, people do it all the time. To say, for a follow, whoever, say the first person to hit 1,000 followers, that person wins, a product or something like that.
An iPad or some giveaway.
Right.
Yeah.
And
you look at, with the social media, the strategy there is to give. Gary, the same guy, Gary Vaynerchuk, wrote a book. It's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. So you're jabbing, you're giving away, you're providing value through your content, and then you do the big ask.
Right.
Then you say, hey, by the way, we're going to have an event coming up. Check out this event. So it's more about giving content out, being that kind of like we do with the show, being a consumer advocate. That's the strategy there. So coming into break here, when we come back, more from our expert contributors, Jason Avery, Avery Construction, Ruth Watkins, TeamGoLoans.com, Zach Sanders, he's the Director of Marketing, Social Media Marketing with Mossy Oak, and Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host. We'll be right back after this short break. And when we come back, we have our 12-year-old nicknamed Trash Girl by bullies refuses to stop collecting litter in our feel-good story of the week. Stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at ConsumerQB.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Looking for a Spanish real estate agent, bilingual real estate agent for our team. If you know of someone, reach out. We'd love to talk to them. 813-670-7372. It's our consumer advocate hotline, 813-670-7372. Hot real estate property, Old Northeast section of St. Petersburg, 215 12th Avenue Northeast, under construction, almost completed, and it's an opportunity for you as the buyer to select the final colors of the countertops, the cabinets, the flooring, and it's a great property, 215 12th Avenue Northeast, St. Petersburg, over 3,752 square feet, $1.4 million, great listing from Platinum MVP Realty here in Tampa Bay, going to help you win. And Jason Avery's in the house. He's the owner of Avery Construction, author of Constructing Success. We've got Ruth Watkins as well here with us as well. TeamGoLoans.com. She's a mortgage expert here. Hashtag own the loan. I like that. Okay. And then we have Zach Sanders, director of social media, Mossy Oak Fence as well. So I want to go back to Jason and talk about the book a little bit too. What's happening with the book, man?
Man, book sales have been great. And we've put out about 2,500 copies now. And it's, again, Constructing Success, the blueprints for a referral-based business. So it's not just a book about construction, but rather a book about how to build a business off of referrals, off of relationships. How even a technician, such as an air conditioning technician, can take that experience away from being just a 1 to 2 day, swap out, swap in, installation, and turn it into a lifelong relationship where that client refers you over and over again and comes back back to you when they buy their next home.
That's
and so on. So it's definitely a great book. It talks a lot about understanding people and understanding how to manage the experience they have so that they go on and tell great stories about you.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter what business you're in the people business. You know, you're doing business with people. People are the one that are going to leave those reviews that Zach talked about online. People are the people that are going to pay your commissions, your money, whatever type of business you're in.
There's so much psychology behind what we do, and especially renovating, interior kitchens and bathrooms, dealing with husbands and wives. There's a little bit of marriage counseling that goes on as part of the sale.
We all see that. So, playing the different roles. Sometimes you have a disabled vet that you're doing a listing appointment with. You want to sit there and listen to them for a little bit and talk to them and, just make them feel, needed so it is. It's a mind game. A lot of it is.
Well, people often have their ideas about the way they think things should be.
Yep.
And if I just abruptly tell them why their ideas are incorrect or why it would be better to do it a different way, that's when the defense goes up and they're going to start to fight back. Whereas if I can ask them through a series of questions and about pros and cons and get them to draw the conclusions on their own, and when it comes out of their mouth, it's so much more credible. So
much more powerful that way.
You got to understand the psychology of people and how to relate and adapt a little.
That's right. Absolutely.
I think it's all about choices. When you give them choices, it's choice A or B. That gives them the power, even though you provided the choices.
Yeah.
Then they can, choose it. I mean, it's an easy way to lay it out for them to understand.
Yeah, like Tom Hopkins, he's been on our show, the sales guru Tom Hopkins, and he said in sales, he said most people are too much of just pushing information down people's throat. He said what you want to do is be a master asker. If you're a master asker, you're asking the right questions. You're leading them to that. That's right. All right, let's do our feel-good story of the week.
Tell me something good.
All right, 12-year-old nicknamed Trash Girl by bullies refuses to stop collecting litter. A student at Hellison High School in Norwich, England, has been dubbed Trash Girl by bullies for her environmentally friendly ways, but has not stopped her from cleaning up the environment. Using the basket on her bicycle, 12-year-old Nadia has been picking up trash along her 2-mile route to and from school, but instead of letting them bring her down, she's using their negativity as motivation. She says, "I'm not going to stop doing the right thing because of them. And if they are going to call me Trash Girl, they can say it with respect," she said. I'm doing something to protect the world and also we live in. It's everyone's job. We are all responsible for keeping this world safe instead of believing that it's always someone else's job. I told her she had two choices. She could either stop collecting rubbish, stop drawing attention to herself, and hopefully that would leave her alone, or she could own Trash Girl, Paula Sparks, Nadia's mom, said about the bullies. As a result, they made a local media attention Nadia has received. She created a Facebook group named Team Trash Girl, where she shares updates on her green efforts. Positive comments have poured in, all in support of Nadia, advocating for her to ignore the naysayers.
That's right. Bless her heart.
Feel good story right there. Little 12-year-old girl doing the right thing. Good stuff. All right, let's jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Jason Avery, you're up first.
So I talked earlier about the unrealistic expectations. So if you're purchasing a home that needs some work to be done on it, you do need to expect that you're going to pull a permit for any trade that involves electric, plumbing, air conditioning, roofing, and all those items do require permits, and you cannot get away with doing without them. And make sure you vet the contractors for proper licensing, and not just that, but also the work comp insurance. And a lot of these guys try to bring on employees. They put them on a 1099, and there's no insurance. They if they cut off a finger, with the saw one day, and if that contractor doesn't have deep enough pockets, trust me, they're coming after you.
Yeah, they will. And
a good lawyer is going to break down those walls quick.
Right, a handyman is not a trade.
There's no such license as handyman. There's about 40 different designations of licenses that they have, and handyman is not one of them.
Yeah, good point. All right, Ruth Watkins.
Okay, I'll say, and I'll probably always say every time, get your finances in order. Or you want to buy a house, find out what it is that you can do, get it together, understand, make a plan, and when you have that plan, execute. find your agent, look out, for the properties, but get the financing in order. That's the most important piece, because if you have no loan, you have no home.
Yeah, that's right. Get that pre-approval done. By the way, credit magician William Crawley is one of our expert contributors. If you have any issues with credit, we can help you with that. Just text in credit to our hotline 917-1894. Text in credit to 813-917-1894. All right, Zach Sanders. Top tips, nuggets of advice.
You got to make sure you're posting good content, and you got to make sure your customers are happy, so they leave good reviews. So when another customer is looking for a certain product, they can go to your website and see your reviews and see that they're all good.
I like it. All right, my tip for today would be, we talk a lot about, with my book, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We've got a really new, exciting thing rolling out with that. But we talk about, check it out on Amazon. We'd love for you to buy a copy there. But what we're going to talk about is calculating your desired hourly income and your annual income. So what you would do is, for example, let's say you want to make $100,000. Divide that by 2,000 hours, the approximate hours that you're going to work in a year. That equals $50 per hour. So what you want to think about is every hour, everything that you're doing throughout your day is you want to focus on, am I doing something that's going to produce that hourly income, that $50 per hour? And if you're not, you want to delegate it, get it to someone else to do, maybe hire out a contractor. You want to focus on your vital few, what Wilfredo Pareto, the 80-20 rule, said is the vital fuel. You want to eliminate time wasters. There's certain time wasters, social media, the rabbit holes you go down on YouTube videos. Focus on sales, focus on prospecting, having quality conversations with people that matter, and making sure you're following up via text, email drips, and I use virtual assistants as well. So it's one of my things that I do. All right, let's do another quick round here. Top tips, nuggets of advice. Jason Avery.
So waterfront property, and be aware that you might not be able to do all the improvement you want to do. FEMA does stand in your way with a rule that says you're allowed to improve up to 50% of the value of your structure. Mm-hmm. Structure is the key word there. Yeah, the land is what has all the value when you're on the waterfront. If it's a $600,000 piece of real estate, you can bet that probably $450,000 of that is the land, and only $150,000 of that is the structure, or even less.
Wow!
So your improvement may be capped at $50,000 to $75,000. You're not going to get all the kitchen and all the bathrooms and all the floors and all the painting done inside of that type of budget.
Yep.
So be aware of FEMA when you're in a flood zone, and check before you start tearing things out.
Perfect. Parting words, Ruth Watkins, TeamGoLoans.com.
I was kind of looking forward to the Name That Tune.
Yeah, we don't have it today. We don't have it.
Okay, so anyway, again, if you want to know what we can do for you, if you don't have a finance professional, go to TeamGoLoans.com.
Yep.
Simply put in the information. It doesn't cost you anything to find out what you can do. It doesn't cost you anything to find out where your position is in your planning. It's absolutely free. Just like the CMAs,
That's
so
right.
The thing is again, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power as well. Quick hit, Jack.
They're on a contest. It'll get you more followers, and also it'll get more people to your website, to your page, and it'll get them seeing what you're giving and producing.
Do a contest. I like that. Zach Sanders. I want to thank Jason Avery, Ruth Watkins as well.
Thank you
great
very
show
much.
today. Thanks to our listeners out there. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up some leftover food, maybe some clothing that you may have, maybe blankets, and carrying it with you to and from your commute. Hand it to that person that you see in need on the side of the road. Be a force for good in the community and do something kind for one another. We'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.